To continue reinforcing the basic Git workflow, we're going to make another change and another commit to the index file. Let's look at it. So right now it's just a bare h1. This is a valid HTML tag, but this is not a valid HTML page. The current standard for HTML, called HTML5, places certain restrictions on what the structure of the document should look like. So what we're going to do here is change this file to conform to the HTML5 standard. But you shouldn't worry about these details right now. All of this stuff is covered in Learn Enough HTML to be dangerous. All right, the first line here is what's called a doc type. It identifies this as an HTML5 document. After the doc type declaration, there's an opening HTML tag like this. Again, angle bracket, name of the tag, closing angle bracket. And we can put in the closing tag as well, like this. There's a slash there. And then the basic structure of HTML is that there's a head and then a body. Do this. Notice that you can split these tags across lines. HTML is not sensitive to white space, so this is basically the same as this. Actually, this is the same as this. Oops. That was weird. I don't know what happened there. I'm trying to just put a new line in. There we go. Sometimes this happens with editors. Things will randomly appear because of some sort of tab trigger or autofill or something. But that's a technical sophistication right there. Just don't worry about it. Then here we have the body tag. And inside the body, we put things like this h1. So because HTML doesn't care about white space, things like spaces and new lines, these spaces here at the beginning of the line don't do anything in terms of the display of the document, but it makes it easier for humans to look at it and parse it visually. There's actually one other required element, which is left as an exercise. And that's putting in a title tag. So this is part of the main tutorial right here, but filling it in with a non-empty title is left as an exercise. As you'll see in the exercises, this page isn't actually valid. It won't validate using an HTML validation service without a non-empty title. By the way, you might notice that I've been doing a lot of typing here, and that's partially because I just want to show you the structure and develop it slowly. But it might occur to you that if this is the common structure, there should probably be some way to make it faster to type. Modern text editors tend to be very good at that kind of thing. So let me show you how to do that. There's a tab trigger for the doc type tab. In fact, we can do even more than this. Let me just erase everything here. That makes you nervous. It's probably a good sign, but remember we can not only do Command Z to undo, but we also have the whole history in the Git log. But anyway, let me show you HTML tab, and that gives us the whole structure. In fact, there's even an extra line, which I've forgotten, and actually did forget this when I was making this tutorial. We'll see later on that's going to cause a problem, and then we'll fix it by adding in the missing line. But in fact, this document with a non-empty title will validate. So that extra line that you may have just noticed there is not necessary for a valid HTML page. At this point, I would like to add one extra thing, which is the solution to one of the previous exercises. It's a paragraph tag here under the top level heading. Remember, HTML tags are open angle bracket, the name of the tag, in this case P for paragraph, and then the paragraph, in this case just the line, call me Ishmael. So let's save that and then go to the command line. We can see, as in the last section, we have a modification, modified index.html. We can do git diff. We can see minus this line and then plus all of this stuff here. As before, because we haven't added any files, we've just made modifications, we can do git commit-am. Let's say we added some HTML structure. Remember, we used the imperative mood though, so this is add some HTML structure. can do git log. See the change went through there. Here's the SHA. And we can also do git log -p, which shows us the actual diffs. Again, this is a less interface, so I can just do spacebar to get through. And here we have the diffs from all our commits. By the way, it's worth taking a look at the page. So this is the unrefreshed version without the HTML structure. I'm going to refresh it, and you'll see that the change is incredibly subtle. Ready? So all that happened there, apart from the appearance of the paragraph, call me Ishmael, was a little bit of extra space above hello world. But because we use the full HTML skeleton, we have a better foundation for building the rest of our website. There are only two elements missing: adding a title to make it a valid HTML page, and then that extra line that we saw briefly when I used the tab trigger, which we'll be adding in to fix a bug later in this tutorial.